What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back to Buff Nation's podcast, Buff Nation's Daily Podcast. I am your host, Max, and we're going to talk about a few things today. Shedeur Sanders, there's still being talk that during the draft, he didn't want to go to the Ravens. Cam Newton spoke on that, so we're going to give my reaction. I'm going to give my reaction to that. Also, what's going on with Travis Hunter? A few people think that he's not being used right. And I'm going to have my opinion on that as well. Because right now, he did play both sides of the ball in the last game. And Richard Sherman seemed to think that they're not using him right. So I think, I'm going to give you my opinion on that because I think, he's just getting started and we'll see what happens from there. Also, we're going to listen to a little bit of Coach Prime's weekly press conference. So we're gonna do that, man. You see, I'm just sitting here chilling, got my cigar. No, I'm just kidding, man. First, what I want to do is I want to get into Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter, we know he won every award imaginable except for the Thorpe Award in college football. And we know that the NFL is a totally different beast. We know that. We got people on one position. They spend hours and hours, owning their craft on one position. But he's playing two positions. Is he at a disadvantage right now because he's playing two positions? That's my question to you. But we're gonna let one of the experts talk about that. And also, what's interesting is it's not just Richard Sherman. We're gonna get into. Yeah, man, it's not just Richard Sherman. We're gonna get into a little bit of what Steve Smith said. Because Steve Smith said that Steve Smith seemed to think that he needs some work on his route running. So we're gonna listen to a little bit of that as well, man. For those that's watching the rebroadcast, please share, give us a like, subscribe. All that'll be greatly appreciated, man, for sure. That'll be greatly appreciated. All right, but first, let's get into what Richard Sherman is saying.
Nothing but the best. I had some great conversations with him in the off season. Great kid, great family. Little brother's a cool kid. I met him at the draft, and
then he cut his hair.
Right. Hey, I always feel weird about that because, well, yeah, I ain't cut my hair in a long time, obviously, but your helmets fit.
Bro cut his hair. Oh man, bro, for him, man. So he probably trying to just put a new image on. So
I just don't think they using him right, and I think it's a waste of time what they doing because they're like trying to like spot play him at corner. And there's no real way to spot play at corner. Like, you don't know when the biggest moment's going to happen at corner. You don't know if it's the first drive. You don't know if it's the 12th drive. You don't know if it's the 6th drive or like when you need him out there for a critical drive or a critical time or a critical play, you don't know what it is. And you can't just throw somebody at corner, on 3rd and 5 for the game and be like, oh yeah, shut somebody down. That's not how it works. It's not that simple in the National Football League. Everybody's been out there strategizing like it's a game of chess. They've been making moves and setting stuff up and manipulating the defense like they are fully warmed up in this game. And then you coming in cold off the sideline, no rhythm, no feel for what the offense is doing, no feel for this receiver's releases, no.
Now here's my thing. Let me let him continue just a little bit more.
Feel for their emotions and emotions back, the communications, right. You know what I mean?
I already know.
And
it's
so
hard. That's tough.
That's tough. And you're gonna keep bringing him off the sideline cold into real situations. That's why they targeted him right off the bat when he got in, because they're like, I mean, he ain't in rhythm. Like,
yeah, I was gonna ask that. Did they target him?
They did target him. Let me see. Yeah, they did target Travis off the bat. They did. Joe Burrow did before he got hurt. Okay, so yeah, I mean, is that a real thing? Like, he's coming off the bench cold. Why don't keep him in for more plays? Like, I mean, if you're gonna play him the whole game, play him the whole game on both sides. But he said, I think he's right about that. They're spot playing him, and you never know you never know when the big play is coming because it's a rhythm thing. But they're putting him in. I don't know if they just putting him in to say they put him in that he played both sides of the ball. I'm not sure, but we're gonna see effectively how this going to go for the rest of the year. That's why I say for everything, wait till week 5. Why do I say wait till week 5? Just because Travis is just getting acclimated to the system. Give him to week 5 and see what he's doing. To see if he's still not struggling, but if they struggling to get him bigger plays. We're gonna wait till week 5 or 6. I would say week 6. Because yes, he's still getting acclimated to the game. It might take him a year or two a year under his belt just to get his bearings down in this system and how they're going to use him and what his role is going to be. Because even at the wide receiver position, he was all over the place. And they gave him, some short passes for short gains, which, this is a game of inches. So if he could average 5 yards a catch or 10 yards a catch, that's really good. He don't have to have big plays all the time. The game, I tell people, is a game of inches. You just have to move those sticks. And if he's consistent in helping Trevor Lawrence move those sticks, then yes, Travis is being very effective. But I think people are looking for him to make the big plays that he made at Colorado. Well, you're going to have to hold on a second. All right, let's continue with what they're saying.
I was just go ask that. I said, I guarantee they probably targeted him as soon as he came out there. I ain't even see the game, but I'm finna ask you that because I know you probably watched it.
Yeah, they targeted him right off the bat. And
Yeah.
he only played 6 snaps on defense. That's not enough to make an impact. Like, it's almost like they did it just to say they did it. Like, almost like they just did it to be like, hey, he played both ways. Look, like,
Yeah.
I don't think like you're going to allow him to be at his best and be as impactful as he can be playing him like that. Like, either just play him on offense and let him thrive. I think he led the team in targets. He had 6 catches for 33 yards. They won. But there was really no impact on the defensive side because it's
6 plays.
It's 6 plays.
Yeah, there really wasn't no impact on the defensive side because he was only in for 6 plays. He was in on a breakup and they called him for a penalty. I think because he primarily the most of the time he was covering, he had his back turned to the quarterback. He didn't look back. But that was a really good play, but the ref called it. It was a really good breakup. He put his hands in there so the person couldn't catch the ball. That was a really good play, but they called him on a penalty. So how are they going to do this? Is he going to? I would say play him how they played him at Colorado. He played a lot of snaps on both sides of the ball at Colorado. Why not in the NFL? Because I don't see how he's going to be effective coming in for just 1 or 2 plays on defense. Are they going to primarily use him at? Is that what they're thinking? They're going to primarily use him at wide receiver. But I honestly think they should draft up some plays to get him some big yardage plays to see if he could do that, to see what's going on there. But we're going to get into what Steve Smith said in a minute because Steve Smith is saying that he has some problems with his route running. And I want to know what you guys think about that in a second.
Hey, what you think? He can't even get his feet wet. Like, you ain't get your hamstrings warm with 6 plays, even if you tried to. Like, even if you're like, hey, even if he would have batted the first pass, there's still 6 plays. Like, 6 plays, what did you expect him to do? So I'd be interested going forward to see what the plan is because it's just so hard to spot play at corner. And it's not that hard, I don't think, to spot play at receiver because they are already rotating anyway.
Yeah, that's their rule. They do that anyway.
They do that. You don't rotate that corner for a reason. There's a reason why corners, certain people don't leave the field. The offensive line doesn't leave the field. The quarterback don't leave the field. The DBs, the 4 DBs don't leave the field.
Don't leave the field.
Ever.
That's it.
And that's it. And the bike linebacker.
Sometimes.
Those are people that sometimes, right. Because
he has a point on that. They usually don't leave the field unless there's an injury or something like that, or but I don't know. But they can put him in on certain packages just to confuse the quarterback, I guess. But that's what Richard Sherman is saying there. Let me go to. We went to Richard Sherman. Let me go to We're going to get to Shedeur as well for draft day, but we're going to go to, and then we're going to get to Coach Prime. Let's go to see what Steve Smith is saying.
Break down Travis Hunter. What's going wrong? What's going
Improved?
Yeah.
Because there is a learning process of gain, the speed, the plays, the responsibilities that isn't necessarily given to a player at the college level.
Yep.
Because you are an amateur. Now, I don't care how much NIL money you're getting. You are not doing football in college the way you do football in the NFL. In the NFL, you get up you're in at 7, and sometimes depending on your situation, if you're a rookie, if you're a veteran, if you're injured, you're not leaving the facility till 7 p.m. Once Thanksgiving around November, December, man, there was a many of nights I was leaving the facility and it was dark outside, and I was coming into the facility and it was still dark outside.
This is a great point that you're making, an absolutely fantastic point you're making, because my understanding is everybody has had to buy into this process, whether it's equipment guys, no lie, whether it's different members of the staff, to make sure that his day is as organized and succinct as possible because of what you're saying. And so I'm fascinated by you're spending that much time at the facility on one position.
All right. See, what they're saying is you're spending all that time at one position, but he has 2 positions, so he has to split his time. They're saying that might be a problem early on. It could be a problem early on, but I think they would have to play him how Coach Prime did it. They may have to find out how Coach Prime managed Travis Hunter, because it worked at Colorado. It sure did, and he split his time in both rooms. And what they got to realize is Travis was a 4.0 student, so he picks up things pretty fast. So they have to put that in the equation as well. Just saying.
They're trying to maximize their time, and coaches, to my understanding, are, I don't want to say fighting, but they all want more time with him.
They need more time because he's a rookie.
Exactly. So
he is not a finished product as a wide receiver, and he is not a finished product as a corner.
Exactly. Hence why, my understanding is, these coaches want more time, because they see that, right? They probably see the talent. Of course they do. And they see that we need to work on blank, 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 and blank. This has been what's happened.
And he's a workhorse.
He is a workhorse.
He's a workhorse. So
he is a worker.
He wants more. He's asking for. So it's not like they're chasing him down. No, he's one of those guys. If you sit him in a room and talk football, you end up talking for hours because he loves the game.
Exactly. And there's a nuance to that as well, because if you talk to people in the building, it'll say, this isn't new to him. It's new to all of them. That's part of this. Like, he knows how to go to both meeting rooms. He's been doing it. It's new to the staff too, Steve. They're going, wait, I only have.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to have to figure out from Coach Prime how they were able to manage Travis. I mean, the kid, he took home the Heisman Trophy. Okay, this is a very unique situation. He took home the Heisman Trophy, and he played a record number of snaps in NCAA football. So it's new to the NFL. They don't know how to manage this. And I could tell by his play on the field that they're not managing him properly. I think they're afraid to keep him on defense for the whole game, and then keep him on defense for the whole game on offense. I think they're a little afraid of it right now. But at some point, his snap counts has to go up in order for him to get in the rhythm on both sides of the ball. That's just how he is. That's just but the thing is, if they're not going to play him on both sides of the ball, just let him play one side and go from there.
This amount of time with him. I got this amount of time with the rest of the receiver group, but my time with him is only this.
Well,
what can I accomplish in this period of time?
Let's go even deeper.
Okay.
When an offensive coordinator is breaking down the philosophy for that week, we all meet offensive linemen, tight end, wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, and we're all sitting there. And then they go over what the emphasis of this week, some of the nuances, And then after they do that, because the wide receivers have to sit and hear, hey, this is the blocking scheme on the run plays that we're doing. Wide receivers, check force. Hey, tight ends, when they call this you call, you have to possibly go ahead and double down. If we're running double down and go to the second level, then they break it off and say, hey, potty break. Hey, go get a piss. Go stretch your legs. Let's keep guys up. Let's not make them fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Then the offensive linemen leave. And now it's all predicated on the passing game.
This is tough, man.
Right?
Like
And hold on. And then after that, you break down to your position meetings. And then the wide receiver coach goes over, hey, I know that was a lot, guys. Who has questions? Here are some of the things that we need to talk about, because last week we ran it like this.
Yeah, they're talking about, I understand what he's saying by the rigors of the NFL, which I don't know about. I know that it's very, time consuming in these meetings. But Coach Prime had already said this already to him. He said, when you get in the NFL, you're going to be there all day. He said, that's the difference between college football and the NFL. You're going to be there for like 10 hours a day. It's just like being in the office. I don't think that's the problem for him. That's not the problem, because like I said, you have to take into account he's a 4.0 student. He did all of this at Colorado and still maintain a 4.0 grade point average. You might be looking at some sort of a genius here. So you just need to let him, I don't know. I think the problem he's saying is he's splitting his time on offense and defense. Like when he's in the offensive room, he's missing that quality time in defense as well. But I would say, again, they're going to have to figure out. And then also he is working in a totally different offensive scheme. And I know it's like night and day compared to Pat Shurmur's. I know Coach Prime is saying that they run an NFL type style offense, but listen, man, comparing the two, there's no comparison. You know what I'm saying? Comparing Jacksonville to Colorado's offensive schemes, it's no comparison. Now, the defensive coordinator, he's fresh from the NFL, but Travis has to learn a whole new play scheme, which is probably going to be easy for him anyway. He's a smart cookie. But you have to take that in consideration, and Steve Smith is right. He's a workhorse. So that is a plus that he's a workhorse. Talking football with him will be easy. So it's just how they're going to manage his time. But I think it'll take a couple years. Like he just finished his second game,
This week, that DB is a little bit better. This week, that secondary is a lot better. This week, that defensive coordinator is more exotic.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is done from 7 o'clock to 10:30. All that goes on between 7 o'clock. And on the other side, the defense is doing the same thing. The whole defense is meeting. Then the D linemen leave, and then the linebackers and the corners and the safeties stay. And then they break down to their respective rooms.
Yep.
And then the DBs go in the DB room. And let me tell you, DBs aren't all the same. There's corners, nickel in that room, and then safeties are somewhere else.
I get what he's saying is this is a matter of how do they manage Travis' time. I get what he's saying, but how do you manage the kids' time? How do you manage it? So I think, but shout out to Steve Smith. He's right. I mean, they got to figure out, because he's saying that the difference is now, he also said in this broadcast that Travis was dominating. He's like North Dakota State and different places like that. But now he has to go up against the top of the top in the NFL. He said every Sunday he's going to go up against the top of the top. And I think he's going to fare well. But like I said, give him a break. He just completed his second game. And I think they will, as he get familiar and acclimated even more, by year 2, he'll be even better. But I think people are expecting him to blast off immediately. Now, some people do blast off immediately, but he's still a rookie. Still got to get acclimated to the new job. it don't take him that long just because of his academic record. I mean, which means that what that telling me is he can retain stuff very easily. It don't take him that long to retain information, being a 4.0 grade point student. But we're gonna get to Shedeur. We're gonna get to Shedeur right now and hear what Cam Newton had to say about Shedeur and this whole thing.
Number 151st pick, league sources told ESPN. All right. But before the Ravens could turn in the card, the former Colorado star let it be known to Baltimore that he didn't want to be on the roster because of Lamar Jackson, where he wouldn't have a chance to play anytime soon.
Now, here's the thing. I mean, come on, man. Do you blame him? He's going to get drafted with Lamar Jackson. He never going to play. The only way he going to play unless he gets some garbage minutes. Like if he had went to Baltimore, let's say if he had went to Baltimore and been the second string quarterback, then he will have to expect to play at some point. But will he ever win that job over Lamar Jackson? Probably not. But if Lamar Jackson and got hurt or something, or they blowing the team out, then Shedeur could get in. He would have had more of an opportunity to play in Baltimore than with the Browns. That's for sure. He would have had, but I think, he's like, I have a better chance to compete with the Browns. They got Flacco there. He's on his way out. Deshaun is hurt right now. Stuff like that, right? But he would have had a better chance of playing in Baltimore and learning under Lamar Jackson, for sure. That's not a bad person to learn under. Lamar Jackson learned under Flacco. Think about that. Lamar Jackson learned under Flacco when Flacco was heading out of there. And that would have been a good person for Shedeur to learn under. Maybe he could have developed some kind of trade value in Baltimore. But the thing is, he got some trade value, I think, now in Cleveland. I mean, he is third string. He does have to prepare to play just in case if Dylan Gabriel goes out. He has to be ready, because I've seen games where 3 quarterbacks is injured. I've seen it in the past. But let's see what else Cam is saying. Well, his partner right now, but Cam is getting ready to talk.
League sources say. So we don't know if this is the full truth, but this is what came out.
So to that point, right? For those who have been living on a rock, I have accepted and will be a part of ESPN's First Take for the duration of the football season.
Hold on, bro. We got to pause for the call.
That's cool. I expect those type of things, but and I appreciate that. But when this came in for us to even talk about, there's a lot of things that came from this particular information. Roll the tape.
First up, we have Alex Smith giving his point of view on it.
If this is true, I think this is crazy. Right? At this point, you're in the 5th round. I understand you had higher hopes, but you've dropped to the 5th round, and you're thinking about being a starting quarterback the next year. I think this is incredibly short-sighted. Like, if you're in this situation, you want to go to an organization that is going to develop you, right? Here you have the Baltimore Ravens, the model of stability in the NFL. This regime's been together for how many decades now? And actually has a track record to develop quarterbacks. Joe Flacco, Lamar, right? Instead, you choose the Cleveland Browns because you think you have a chance to start the next year. And mind you, the Cleveland Browns, who are on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to stability, right? This is the same organization that walked away from Baker Mayfield as the #1 pick in the draft. What's he gone on to do? Oh, he's only led the NFL in touchdown passes since joining the Bucs, right? How many starting quarterbacks? There's been 700 starting quarterbacks.
Number get called, you pick up. You pick up. You do not know how your career is going to turn out.
Press
Dak
pause right there,
Prescott had
Peggy.
Tony.
Even though I'm on this side of the spectrum, it is very important to state this.
Okay.
If you only report some of the truth and not all of the truth, you are, in some cases, if not all cases, just as guilty as telling a lie. Because
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, what exactly, hold on. What exactly, how can I say this? Like, what exactly did Shedeur do? Like I feel like I'm not getting the whole side of the story here. I feel the same way as Cam. We can't be getting the whole side of the story, because if you fall to the 5th round, you got to be whoever pick you up, because you can't say, oh, y'all about to draft me. Oh, nah, I'm good. But even though you don't fell to the 4th round, no, I'm good, yo. Nah, I'm good. No, you don't have that luxury. So I don't quite believe what they're saying. Let's see what Cam is saying.
If you only have a certain amount of information that you're pulling from, it clouds your perspective.
Yeah, it's one-sided perspective.
I started 4th and 1 because I believe in this and this only. Accountability. Now, I'm a fan of Alex Smith. I'm a fan of Emmanuel Acho. I respect those two individuals extremely. I also respect Adam Schefter. I also respect any person that has the opportunity to do their job. And might I add, they are all good at what they do.
Yeah.
But accountability is something that I'm standing on. Why I started 4th and 1, continuing this thought, is to hold members of the media accountable, coaches accountable, executives accountable, fans accountable, any type of pundit, and especially the players accountable to what I deem is my opinion. And I'm going to give that perspective for what it is. After that source dropped that information, me dilly dallying into my sources, having conversations, that was truth. But the perspective of that was left out. And we're here to report all the truth.
Nothing but it.
My source tells me that it wasn't just the Baltimore Ravens. It was 3 teams. The Cleveland Browns, right, with Andrew Berry being the GM. It was the Philadelphia Eagles with obviously Howie Roseman, the general manager. And it also was Baltimore Ravens with Eric DeCosta, right?
So let me get this straight. You saying Cleveland called Shedeur?
Yeah, like, wait a minute now. I have a hard time believing this. So you mean to tell me the Eagles called Shedeur, the Browns called Shedeur, okay, in Baltimore, and he said no to all of them? Well, except for Cleveland. Let's hear this, because he's saying he has some sources now.
Baltimore and Philly called Shedeur.
Per my sources, there were 3 teams that was in communications with thinking about drafting Shedeur in the later rounds.
Okay.
Now, this is where the perspective gets skewed, because you ask the question, why would Shedeur not want to go to Baltimore?
Yeah.
For all the obvious reasons and all the optics that Alex Smith has stated. If any team has been on the cutting edge of saying we figured out the recipe of drafting and developing good players to play great and elite, that's one of the teams that does it at a high level. Why not go to Baltimore? And I said on the ESPN platform, if any team or any person can relate to a guy like Shedeur Sanders, it's Lamar Jackson. Why? I don't think Lamar Jackson gets enough credit for this and this only. His impact in the state of Florida is almost similar to the impact of a governor of Florida. But we've never heard Lamar Jackson get in trouble. That right there alone deserves a round of applause. I've seen how people speak about Lamar Jackson. I've seen how people have said this. We don't ever hear anything about Lamar Jackson. If you're saying that about a star, a generational talent, that's been loosely given to certain people and players, we're talking about a person who's done everything right. He can relate to what Shedeur Sanders is going through, will go through, and to prepare.
He probably could relate, but the thing is, okay, so here's the situation. Shedeur was expecting to go in the 1st round of the draft. I know he was expecting to go in the 1st round because he had that elaborate party set up. He was expected to go in the 1st round. That didn't happen, and he fell to the second round. Not only did he fall to the second round, he didn't get, he didn't get drafted in the second round. He's out of day one now. Now we're going to day two of the draft. Guys, he didn't even get drafted on day two. He got drafted on what, day three? So day three, at that point, if anybody, whoever want to draft me, I'm down with it, because you gotta get your opportunity from somewhere. But to say that he turned down all of them, I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like at that point, you know, I don't know. So
For him to be even a better player, not only on the field, but off the field. The second team, Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts has been nothing less than a model citizen. And of course, he's thinking to himself like,
yeah, see, here's my thing. These are all the OGs that he could have learned from. Think about what he could have learned from Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Or Jalen Hurts. You see what I'm saying? But now he's with Flacco. So, I mean, these other guys are winning though. I would rather, you know what I'm saying? Not that Flacco's won a Super Bowl. So let me get this straight. Let me fall back for a second. Because Flacco was Lamar Jackson OG. You know what I'm saying? Even Lamar Jackson said he got a lot out of being with Flacco. So, I mean, sometimes you might have to sit, you know what I'm saying? But I think in his mind, he wanted to start. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to go somewhere where he could start. But the NFL, for some reason, that's just, I'm tired of talking about it. I mean, you guys already know my opinion on it. But at this point, if you fell to the fifth round, it's just whatever at this point. I much rather would have went to Philly. I'm not trying to knock you Cleveland fans, right? I would have much rather go to Philly or Baltimore at that late stage.
you're talking about development. You're talking about preparing him to be a potential starting quarterback, might I add.
Yep.
These are individuals that is a no-brainer. But when you leave out some truth, it does not allow you to have a full understanding and for you to give your honest perspective of the situation. The third team was the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I will add to this. As a man in the United States of America, as a man in the world that we live in today, no matter what country, no matter what city, no matter what state, no matter what county, no matter what zip code you stay in, you have to do what's best for you, even if nobody agrees with it. That's something that you have to live with. My point is this, Peggy. When my source tells me that those teams called, and it wasn't that Shedeur said to himself, oh, nah, I'm too good for Baltimore. I'm too good for Philly. Anybody in the NFL draft has this consistent thought. I want to go to a team that I can do what, Peggy?
Play.
I want to go to a team that I could do what, Peggy?
Play.
I want to go.
Yeah, I agree. He's not having the mindset that I'm too good to be there, but he wants to play. Like, he's not playing under Lamar Jackson or, you know what I'm saying, Jalen Hurts. He's not playing. He said, damn, okay, you know, it's cool, you know, Jalen Hurts, you know, Lamar, but I'm never going to play. But see, Cam is thinking like he could have got developed by them and then went somewhere else. But I understand he want to play early in his career. He don't want to wait till year 5, because messing with them, he'll wait to year 5 or a year 7 messing with them. And then that takes money out your pocket because you don't have time, you don't have balling out and getting that max contract, you know what I'm saying, and different things. So there's a lot of business decisions with this as well. I get it.
To a team for the people in the back to do what, Peggy?
Play.
So if that's your thought, my source tells me.
Let me just say this real quick. His partner name is Peggy. Like, that keep throwing me off. His partner named Peggy, but anyway.
That Shedeur had too much respect for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Had too much respect for Jalen Hurts. And he would be in a situation where he would have needed that individual in Lamar and Jalen to get hurt in order for him to have an opportunity to play. They have a saying that says, all money ain't good money.
Yeah.
and every opportunity is not really a great opportunity for where you are or what your vision is. So if you are dealing with an individual that has the utmost respect for Lamar Jackson,
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'd rather for Shedeur to explain this. I'd much rather do it. I mean, the Cam doing a good job. I'm okay with Cam, but I mean, it's not. You mean you don't want to go to out of respect? I mean, we need backups. The Jets need a backup. Just in case if the star goes down, we need somebody to be the second star to come in and be a star. We don't need the star to go down like Joe Burrow go down. Now you got a problem. Now your season is over because Joe Burrow went down. And they also thinking about Shedeur for Joe Burrow, by the way, because Joe Burrow going to be out for like 3 months, I think. So they had Shedeur on the table. Can he throw in tight pockets and all that? He showed that against Carolina. What Shedeur did against Carolina, really, I'm like, okay, this kid, he really could play in the NFL. I already knew he could play, but he's already passed all the optics. You know what I'm saying? I mean, is it all the sacks he's taken that these teams are work? I don't understand it. I don't understand. He got an arm. He got everything, but I don't know, to say that he was respecting Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. I get that, but at the same time, you can still learn from them because it's a long season. Anything can happen. You see what happened to Joe Burrow. Like, let's say if Shedeur had got drafted to the Bengals, he probably like, damn, I'm not going to play this year. But guess what? Joe Burrow just got hurt. Now, Shedeur, you playing for the rest of the season. And check this out. You may, when Joe Burrow comes back, you may not take his position. However, you might have upped your draft stock to where another team wants you. This is a long season, man. I don't wish for nobody to get hurt, but it's a very dangerous game. And Joe Burrow went out. And if he had went to the Bengals, for sure, Shedeur would be starting. I don't know if he would ever have a chance in Cleveland. I honestly, well, let me think. He could have a chance in Cleveland, but right now they're going with Gabriel as the backup. But anything can happen to Gabriel, you know. So
Jackson has the utmost respect for Jalen Hurts. That's not to say he doesn't have respect for a Joe Flacco or a Dylan Gabriel. The thought is, if I go into Cleveland, I would have more of a chance to play and compete for a position rather than hoping that an individual gets hurt. Now, we can all agree with this. Do you think that Lamar Jackson has played his best football yet?
No, he's still on the rise.
What about Jalen Hurts?
No, he's still ready to blossom.
These are all players that are under the age of 30 years old.
Yeah.
So when you take that into consideration and you don't spoon feed the thoughts of, well, Shedeur didn't want to go to Baltimore. When you paint that narrative, of course, you're going to think that you're talking about a player who.
All right, yeah. What he's saying is they paint the narrative that he didn't want to go to Baltimore. Like, this is a bad narrative, right? Oh, he didn't want to go to Baltimore nor Philly. Like, fuck Philly, fuck F Baltimore. Okay, I ain't going. No, that he's saying is he didn't want to play under them and have to worry about playing if they get hurt out of respect. But see, I don't know if Cam is explaining it right. I don't even know if he's explaining that right because, like I said, if he had got drafted to the Bengals, Shedeur would be playing right now because Joe Burrow is out. And they already thinking about getting Shedeur. I heard there were talks about it. I mean, that's a rumor mill, but there's a rumor mill, right? If you look at what he did against Carolina, why not bring him in? Okay, but there's a learning curve. Of course, he got to learn the system and different things like that. But a quarterback that can throw like that, and he got a decent offensive line, now he can do some things. You know, so anyway, that's what Cam said. You know what I'm saying? Now we're gonna go over to Coach Prime. He just recently had a press conference. Well, that was yesterday. Let me listen to some of his press conference, even though it was yesterday. No, it was Tuesday. This is old, but let me listen to it anyway. See what Coach Prime is saying. But you know, my last thoughts on Shedeur is I don't know what to think. Like Shedeur has already addressed it. He said that don't serve no purpose in my life right now. He didn't deny that he said it, but he was like, it don't deserve no purpose in my life, and he's correct on that. Right now, he just have to worry about being with the Cleveland Browns. That's pretty much it. Let's see what Coach talking about.
Wyoming's head coach, Coach Swavel. Tremendous career. When I read up and study some of these guys, I'm marveled at the stops they've had, the elevation that they've climbed to, and the opportunities they've been afforded, and they've taken advantage of it. And he's just another good one, good guy. I always have someone who reach out to me and tell me about the character of the not only the team, but the coaches that I'm getting ready to coach against. And this gentleman is unbelievable. He has done a fantastic job with the opportunity afforded coming from the defensive back and the safeties since 2020. So he has understanding of this university, and he's done a heck of a job, man. So proud of him, proud to be up against him. I can't wait to see how we match up. Students of the week, Tawfiq Bayard, who's been playing his butt off as well, and Mantrez Walker out of Georgia. Team notes. Shout out to volleyball and soccer. Volleyball is 9-0. Wow. We wish we were them. Just the second time in program history. I just asked for someone to put schedules. We need all the athletic schedules in the dining hall so we could support one another, because we don't know. We sit there and eat with them all the time. And I was just talking to, I forgot which team it was, lacrosse. And like, when do y'all play? What's the schedule? And I want to know so we could come and support them. But shout out to the volleyball team. Soccer is 6-1. I love their coaching staff. I love those guys. They've lost a lot of weight and they're looking real good. They're eating right, looking healthy. I love those guys to life. And they hit that portal hard, didn't they? They hit it hard. I'm proud of them. They have a Big 12 opener at home against Kansas State on Thursday night. That looked like prenup feel to me. When you've been through what I've been through, that looks like prenup to me. Okay, but I guess it's not. You can tell I'm in a silly mood today. This week is family weekend. We're going to have a packed house. I love family weekend, so the families of all the students can come here and see their babies, see their kids. It's going to be phenomenal as well. Let's go after this sip of water.
Matt, you want to start us?
Coach, through a quarter of the season so far, what would you say you've learned about your group so far?
I don't see quitting the guys. Like, we had practice Saturday, Sunday. And usually if you practice 60 or 70% of the plays, you get that day off. You have to, come out there dressed, but you don't have to work. The whole defense came out there padded up. And I said, wow. I said, why do you guys wear your pads? They said, because we didn't feel like we played well. We got to work. And I think everybody but maybe 2 or 3 players on the offense was padded up. So it's kind of the same sentiment. So I'm proud of the resilience. I'm proud of the way they responded today. Usually the first days of the week are horrendous practices. They worked their butts off today. They really did. We changed the format up a little bit to kind of change it up so they could have something new to look forward to. But they got after it today. They really did. I'm proud of them.
Kind of follow up to that. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in the past you've said you look for 7 guys on either side of the football. I was just wondering where your numbers are at right now.
I'm not at 7.
Coach Jack Carlo.
Jack, you're early on me today, baby.
I am early. No,
Yeah.
Nick, you too. So just change things a little bit.
I got a haircut and a clean shave.
You like it? Shout out to Great Clips.
Great clips.
Like
All
it?
right.
Yeah, they did a good
They
job.
better be paying you, man. Don't give nobody shouts out. Come on, take it from me. Don't get nobody no shout out unless they take.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't give nobody no shout out if they ain't paying you. Oh, that's where you went? Okay, cool, but they're going to have to pay you. It seemed like these reporters, they're afraid to ask questions, man. Like, they really are. So, and then I think they might ask him about the quarterback situation as well, even though he's not going to answer that because he don't want the other team to prepare, because how can they? Because you could play 3 quarterbacks.
Care you.
I don't know if they're sponsored.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
There's a video, I think yesterday or the day before, you said, why not us, in terms of
Right.
this thing around. I wonder if you could speak a little bit more on that.
Dabo Swinney is one of my favorites. I love him to life. I love the man he is, the coach he is, the
just a great guy, just a guy that I could look up to, in this coaching realm. And just looking back on some of the things that they've accomplished, and they've been sitting here before, 1-2, and they turned it all around. I think they ended up 10-2 that season. And why not us? Why can't we turn it around? Why can't we correct the wrongs with the rights? And
That's what I'm saying. It's still early in the season. They can correct what they're doing. You got to remember, it's still early in the season. Things could change around, even though they lost the game, but it was a tough loss. But even then, it's still early in the season. They could turn around like Georgia. Definitely can, man. I don't see why not.
And display consistency and do those things, because we have the talent in house. We just got to put it to usage and do what we are capable of doing.
Hi, Coach. Kind of building off that, with your run defense issues early on the season, how much of that has been guys maybe freelancing, not playing within the scheme?
I'm not going to say freelancing. They just miss opportunities. We've had several opportunities to make plays. We just missed the opportunities. We just got to make good on the opportunities. That's it. I don't think they're freelancing. I just think we just don't make the play when the play is afforded to us.
Hey, Coach. Pat Graham, Associated Press. A fun question and a serious one. Number one is, how nice would they have Ice Cube in-house today?
You got to understand, we go way back to 88, 89. So we've been down for a long time. Dub C's there. My other friend Mac 10 wasn't there. He was part of the West Side Connection, which I loved. But Cube and I, we hooked up a long time ago in Atlanta, man. And before they had licensing and stuff on the sideline, I remember I wore a lynch mob jacket, like all the way down jacket, all the way like to my ankles on the sideline when I played for the Falcons. He used to come to the games and was on the sideline. He used to come to practice. So we've been cool for a long time, and just to see the maturation and where he's ascended to is unbelievable. He has a concert in Denver as well. That's why he's here. But I love when the guys like that are successful in different realms of life, that has reinvented himself in 3 different times with the Big 3, then you got the rap game, then you got the movie star he is. Unbelievable. And it says a lot for a lot of young men on our team that can look up and look out for Q.
And the serious one is, and this is no setup, I'm just, when you're evaluating the quarterbacks, what do you want to see and what are you hoping to see against
leadership and consistency? That's it. That ain't much to ask for, is it? Leadership and consistency. I look for that for everyone. Every man, every woman that's involved in my life, leadership and consistency.
Here's the thing about the leadership and consistency. Like, will they give these quarterbacks a little leeway to make mistakes? Because if you keep switching out quarterbacks, and like I said, guys, I don't know. I'm taking this week by week on the season. When I say I'm taking this week by week, I can't forecast what their what do you call it, record is going to look like. Not with this situation, with the quarterback situation. They don't have stability in that situation. You've already played 3 quarterbacks. You played Staub. Will you play Staub again? There has to be some stability in that position. At least play 2. They could play 2 quarterbacks. Many colleges have done it. You can survive playing 2 quarterbacks. But there still has to be some type of stability in that situation. If not, this is a week by week basis. We can't think of bowl games. They got to look at this in terms of week by week. Because the reason why I say that is because they could get their act together and guys and go on a tear and start winning. Okay, they can literally go on a tear and literally start winning. So that's why I say take it week by week, because they could iron out everything that they have to iron out, and next thing you know, they're in a bowl game.
Hey, Coach, good to see you.
You too, boss.
It's Scott Proctor at DMVR. Based on what you know about, your personnel on offense, the skill sets of everybody on that unit, what do you feel like the identity of this offense should be, or is that something you guys are still trying to work through and figure out?
You don't want to say what things should be. I mean, because that just gets you upset when you walk out of here. What things should be. I should be probably 5 pounds heavier right now, but I had the little setbacks. We're getting there, and we're gonna get there within the next maybe Saturday, maybe a couple games after that, but we're going to get there with the consistency that we desire.
You see how Coach Prime is saying maybe Saturday? See, he's being honest. At least what he really saying is week by week, because we have to iron out some things. So we got to take this week, literally got to take this week by week. Okay. They make some improvements here, get some stability here, and they off to the races. But right now he said week by week, really that's what it is.
You see it. We're going to get there.
John, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. John Treach, 9 News. After the game against Houston, you said you were surprised by how the team played several times. Has that caused you to dramatically change how you prepare the team?
We changed up a little bit. Say, for instance, you start with tempo. I may not start with tempo. I may start with first down runs. Give me 2 first down plays. Offense and defense, 1s versus 1s, 2s versus 2s, because that's what we're going to start the game off with. And I want us to get 5 yards on first down offensively, and I want us to prevent 4 to 5 yards on defense. So you may change up the structure of how you attack practice to make sure you could get the best out of your young men. You got to understand your team, the dynamics of your team, how we practice. Normally, the first day of the weeks are the worst days of practice, and I don't condone that whatsoever. So we change it up to keep it a little lifelike, and we don't have a long tenuous practice, but we get a lot done walking through as well as full speed.
Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Brian Howell, the Daily Camera. Just curious if you've decided what you're going to do with quarterback this week.
Yeah, most definitely have. Yeah.
And then as a follow-up to that, don't know what you're just.
Wait, let me go back to that. Just can't breeze over that. Hold on.
Full speed.
Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Brian Howell, the Daily Camera. Just curious if you've decided what you're going to do with quarterback this week.
Yeah, most definitely have. Yeah.
And then as a follow-up to that, don't know what your decision is, but like as far as Caden goes, what is something you need to see from him that you weren't seeing when he was in the start?
I think I just said a minute ago, leadership, right, is what I want to see from inconsistency from all our guys, not just Caden. Leadership and consistency from all of our guys.
Here's the thing. I struggle with the fact that Caden Salter don't have the leadership, and he's already played 4 years. This is last year eligibility, right? So I find it a little hard to for the coach have to say that, the leadership part. That's kind of hard. Like he don't have the leadership skills at this point. Man, it's crazy. And if he's still looking for, I can see the consistency. Maybe he's still trying to learn the offense real quick. But the only thing is, this is last year eligibility, though. I think at some point he's gonna have to make a decision on whether he should redshirt or not, so he will not lose his last year eligibility. But the problem is, my question to you guys is, if he redshirt, will he get his money? Because I know they paid him a bag to go there. Will he still get that bag? So I don't know.
That position.
Hey, Coach. Jake Schwantes,
How you
DNVR. Doing well. How you doing? Stopping the quarterback run was an issue for you guys again on Friday night. Just how frustrating is that keeps popping up and it's something that keeps killing you?
Very frustrating. I think we did statistics. I think I may be mistaken, but it's almost like 109-7 are the records of the teams.
Let me say this, right? I think the quarterback position is the hardest position to come in and get acclimated to, because you got to get acclimated to a whole new system. And he has training camp to do that. The reason why I say he has training camp, because in the spring, I don't think you get the playbook in the spring, do you? Do you get the entire playbook? That's my question, you guys. Do you get the entire playbook in the spring? Because if you do, like, what if you leave? Then there you got the other team's playbook. So I think you get most of it when training camp comes. So that's not a lot of time to get acclimated in a new system.
That have given up, I think, surrendered 200 yards rushing. They've lost. they've lost, to like 109-7. Something as drastic as that. It's a crazy, staggering number. I may not be correct on the number, but I know it's something like that, of that nature.
Mark Kisler, Denver Gazette. Going back to the identity question, it's which comes first, identity or winning? Winning or identity?
Winning.
How much
I
patience?
don't give a darn what I did. First of all, I don't know coaches that seek identity. I think coaches seek wins. You could call it what you want. It looks the way it looks. I don't care what kind of car we pull up in. Long as we pull out of here with a W, I'm good. So I don't really get into the identity thing, not whatsoever.
What do you guys think about that? Is the identity of this team important? I'm with Coach. You got to win. But what do you guys think? The identity of this team. What do you think about that?
I would like to do some things better. We like to stop the run. We like to run the ball. We like to be consistent offensively and defensively. We'd love to do those things better, but I can't be narrowed down with what's your identity? What does that mean? What does that mean? What's your identity? I don't even know what that means. Excuse me? I don't think we can hang our hat out. Like Ohio State won the national championship, right? What did they hang their hat on? Running the football. But they had two runners. You can't hang your hat on two running backs. That's not nothing to hang your hat on. It's got to be on. Everybody got two running backs. They can't kick your butt without the line. I don't care how great they are. Without the line, they can't kick your butt. Like, I understand what you're trying to say, but winning is winning, man. It's not one thing you can hang your hat on. I would love to say, shoot, we could do this and we could do that, but
I mean, he's being honest. Like, what identity do they have? I mean, the team changes up year by year. It's hard to bring that consistent look. I think when you say identity, what is your look? What does your team look like? Are you a high balance team? Are you a pass first team? Or you a run heavy team? Or you a dominant offense? You dominant in the trenches? Like, what's your look like? I think the question is wrong. He's saying identity. I think, what is the look of the team? And Coach Prime, what he's saying, I don't care. We want to win, but what is that look for you to win, though? I think they're asking a question. I don't know if they're asking a question wrong, but I would have to come back and ask him again. Like, Coach, what is the look of your team, man? Are y'all a run heavy team? You're a pass heavy team, or y'all just winging it every week? That's what I would have said to him. I wish I was there. I said, Coach, let me just say this, man. We talking about the identity here of your team now. What is the look of your team? What do we expect to see from your team on Saturday? Are they run heavy, or you're going to be a balanced offense? You dominant in the trenches? Like, what are you, linebacker university? Like, what's your look? Or Coach, are you just going to wing it week to week? Because at this point, I think they might be winging it. Like, you don't know what you got yet because all these people came together. I would say give them a little bit of time. That's why I say you have to take this week by week, because some people still might be getting acclimated to the system still in the playbook.
You got to have consistency before you start opening your mouth and rambling it off like that. Excuse me? I'm not a patient man. I'm not a patient man on anything. So I'm a fixer, man. I want to fix the problems. I'm not a guy that want to linger and just have that kind of stuff going on. I'm just as upset with some of you watching when you watch the TV or you're there. I'm just as upset, or even more, because I know what's supposed to be happening. Like, I hear it goes in and I know what's supposed to be happening. It don't happen.
Let me say this real quick. This might be a problem with coaches like him. Now, let me say why. This is no disrespect or anything. He's a Hall of Famer. I remember when Michael Jordan said, like, hey, can you be a coach, Mike? You could bring a lot to the game and teach a lot of people what you know. He said, I can't do it because I have high expectations. I want people to be like me. And I'm going to struggle with that. And oftentimes great players struggle being coaches because He just said he don't have the patience. You got to have the patience in this game to build a team. It takes a few years. It's going to take him about 5 years to build this team. I told you guys this before, because when he came in, it was a total roster overhaul. It was a total roster overhaul, right? Total roster overhaul. I'm not expecting nothing with a total roster overhaul because so many people are coming together for the first time. Now in year 2, they did get their bearings together because Travis got well established. Shedeur was there, and they went to a bowl game. First time they went to a bowl game in years. But guess what? In year 3, Travis is not there no more. Shedeur is not there no more. Shiloh is not there no more. Silman Craig is not there no more. LaJohntay Wester is not there no more. Jimmy Horn Jr. is not there no more. The block bully is not there no more. Also, the linebacker that transferred to Alabama is not there no more. You know how many people they lost? They lost a lot of people. This is rebuilding again. They're rebuilding. And that offensive line, the trenches, you have to recruit and build that. Because this is why I'm going to tell you this. The top offensive linemen in the country, they never leave their teams. They never leave, man. It's very rare to get an offensive lineman transferring from Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? Because they're known for their offensive linemen. So it takes a while. You got to have a little patience to build a team. But he said, but see, the thing is, what I would say with these quarterbacks is if you mess up more than once, you're out of here. You know what I'm saying? Arch Manning mess up how many times he's still in the game? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, like, Michael, I go back to Michael Jordan for a second. He said he don't know about coaching because he has patience is low because he don't went to the top of basketball. He went to the pinnacle of basketball. He knows what it takes to go there. He knows what it takes, the work ethic. Everybody don't have the same work ethic. Some of these kids are actually student athletes. They're not athlete students, meaning that they're not even thinking about going to the NFL. You see what I'm saying? So you got to have it's a patience with a balance. He's not there like with Georgia yet. It takes a while to build what Georgia has. Okay. Dabbled even with Nick Saban Coach Saban was doing. It took years for him to build that. You see what I'm saying? He didn't just come in. It took a few years to get to where he is. You know what I'm saying? Coach Prime in year 3, this is going to take more than 5 years to get to where he want to go, I think. You know what I'm saying? What say you?
So you're upset with that sentiment. But we're going to get it together. I think we have I know we have the young men inside that locker room and the coaching staff to get it together.
Good morning, Coach Prime. Mike Lyle, KUNC Radio. How are you, brother?
How you doing?
Quick question about what you talked about so far this morning. Would you say another word to define this team would be perseverance?
I don't understand the question
terms of
or the
where they're
statement.
going right now in terms of the development. I know it's early on this season, but as
I'm not going to say we're persevering right now. That's like we just staying alive. That's not the correct word for what we're dealing with right now. We really just trying to find consistency in certain areas that will enable us to win. We want this to happen like this. We want this guy to do that. We want this to happen like that. It's a consistency in something that I can see, that I know we're capable of doing, that we have not yet done consistently yet. We've only done it in spurts.
Coach Tyler King with the Denver Gazette. You mentioned all of the guys on the defense and the majority of the offense wanting to come out with their pads on for the first day, the first practice after the game. Does that show you that this group is willing to put the work into to fix things, and that gives you the confidence that you're going to turn it around?
Well, I have the confidence regardless of that. But yeah, when you say turning around, I don't think we're in a car just running aimlessly the wrong way. I don't feel that way. I feel like we could be better, and we are better. We just have had a hiccup here and a hiccup there that has disarmed us in its totality. And it's no excuse for what transpired last week. No excuse for that.
Hey, Coach. Harrison Simeon, Boston SI. After the first quarter against Houston, you talked about stopping offenses on early downs.
Mhm.
Have you worked with Robert Livingston in those scenarios? And If so, how so?
Well, we work daily in trying to do what's right and what we're capable of doing with the personnel that we have. Most definitely. Coach, both coordinators are really good. Both all the position coaches as well as the support staff are doing a fantastic job. You know, I remember playing for the Dallas Cowboys way back in the heyday when victories were victories and you were winning your butt off. I remember saying one time, I wish we could watch film in the stadium in front of the whole world. Because I want coaches to say, this is the call, this is what was supposed to happen. This is why it didn't happen. Instead of
I don't know if I agree with that one, Coach, because then the kid's gonna get pissed. Because we start watching the film, because everybody already breaking film down now with the all 22 film. So he is right. There's a lot of people doing all 22 film now. So we could see exactly what happened. Definitely with the all 22 film, man. But yeah, let me finish. We'll see what Coach saying here.
You know, assessing blame to this person or this person, and you really know the truth. But oftentimes that's not going to happen. One thing about our young man, they're understanding what accountability is, as well as us and the coaching staff. And I take full responsibility and accountability of every darn L we receive. But sometimes young men in life has to understand they're accountable as well for their actions. If you're going to be accountable to go pick up that NIL check, you're going to be accountable for what goes on that field as well. And our kids understand that, and they're holding one another accountable. And I like it. I really do. I love them for that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, and God bless you all.
All right, so that was Coach, man. Yeah, man. It's gonna be a minute, man. It's definitely gonna be a minute for them to get this together. But take it week by week. Like you said, they're still building. But I said to build some type of continuity, you gotta learn that playbook. There's a lot of people that just came on this team that they're still getting acclimated to this playbook. And I don't know how much time do they put into the playbook and film. I don't know. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. For those that watched the live premiere rebroadcast, and I appreciate you. Please give us a like on the way out, and also comment below. You know, it goes down in the comment section. But all right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Stay up. Peace.